Good morning, everyone. Our psalm of the day today is Psalm 107. Paul McCartney once sang a song called Average Person, in which he hears the stories of three ordinary people: an engine driver, a waitress, and then a boxer. When I bumped into a man who'd been a boxer, asked him what had been his greatest night. He looked into the corners of his memory, searching for a picture of the fight. But he said he always had a feeling that he lacked a little extra height. Yes, mate, you heard right. He always had a feeling that he might have lacked a little height. Well, everyone has a story to tell, no matter how average we may feel. But Psalm 107 begins by saying, "Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story." And it tells four stories of rescue or redemption as people cried out to the Lord in their trouble. Firstly, there's the story of wandering in desert wasteland. They were hungry and thirsty, and their lives ebbed away. But the Lord hears their cry, for he satisfies the thirsty and fills the hungry with good things. Then there's the story of prison and darkness. Some sat in darkness, in utter darkness, prisoners suffering in iron chains because they rebelled against God's commands. But the Lord heard their cry. He brought them out of darkness, the utter darkness, and broke away their chains. There's the story of affliction and death. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. But the Lord heard their cry. He sent out his word and healed them. He rescued them from the grave. And then there's the story of storms at sea. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths. In their peril, their courage melted away. But the Lord heard their cry. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. These are all great stories, but what's the relevance for us? Well, the song offers these stories as examples of his wonderful deeds for mankind. And it reminds us that we see Jesus performing these very kinds of rescues through his power. He feeds the hungry in the wilderness. He sets the possessed free. He raises the dead. He calms the storm. But what's more, they point us to a deeper rescue that Jesus came to bring. He's the bread of life. Whoever believes in him will never be hungry. He's the light of the world. Whoever follows him will never walk in darkness. He's the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in him will live, even though they die. And he's the Lord of heaven and earth, who grants his peace and presence to whoever will trust in him. Do you have a story of redemption? Have you cried out to the Lord in your trouble? If so, you may be many things, but you're not an average person. You are loved, redeemed, and precious. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. My worth is not in what I own, not in the strength of flesh and bone, but in the costly wounds of love at the cross. My worth is not in skill or name, in win or lose, in pride or shame, but in the blood of Christ that flowed at the cross. I rejoice in my Redeemer, greatest treasure, wellspring of my soul, and I will trust in him, no other. My soul is satisfied in him alone. Amen.